Hello, I'm Jim Bell, CEO of Capstone College and Career Advising. Let me ask you a question. Where are you going? That's a very important question for a senior. What are you going to do with your career? Where are you going to go to college? What are you going to major in? Capstone offers a myriad of many different programs and packages, from freshman to sophomore, from junior to senior. We can meet one-on-one in our office. We can meet anywhere in the United States, still one-on-one thanks to technology. Meeting with Capstone can help you decide and determine where you are going. Where are you going to college? What are you going to major in? And we will help you through every step of the way. So I invite you to go to our website, www.capstoneadvising.com, and fill out our contact form and set up a meeting with me so I can discuss with you how and where you're going to college. Where are you going? Capstone can help you get there. In the application process, there's a lot of decisions to be made. Not only just in deciding which college you're going to go to and which college application you're going to use, but there's decisions on when you're going to apply and what deadline you're going to try to reach. There's a lot of different deadline options out there. You can have an early action deadline. You can have an early decision deadline. You can have a regular decision deadline. You can have rolling admissions deadlines as well too. And all of those have different components to them, some that may fit your situation and some that don't. Let's talk about early decision first. Early decision options are usually binding. In other words, once you decide that you're going to go to that college and you decide you want to apply for early decision, you're saying, I am going to go to your college no matter what, and I won't look at any other colleges beyond that. Now, there's a couple of different things with early decision that you've got to be careful of. One is some colleges don't even want you applying to other colleges by going through early decision. In other words, by applying early decision, you're saying, I'm not pursuing any other options out there. I've not applied to any other schools. Some early decisions will say you can apply to other schools, but if we offer you acceptance, then you're going to have to drop all those other schools and come to our school. And that could even be before financial aid comes in. So you have to be very committed and understand and know that that's really the college you want to go to, and that's your first choice, and that if they offer you admissions, yes, you're going to go there. So in other words, if you decide to do early decision, that's the college you want to make sure that you're going to be going to. It's not a college that you're going to apply to and you're still not quite sure, because once you make that decision or once they accept you, you're locked into that college. Now you also have early action, which is non-binding. In other words, it says, I'm going to apply early and I'm wanting to get an early decision from that college so I can keep my options open. So typically those early decisions on early action will happen from the college standpoint somewhere around December. In other words, they will make a decision on you, not to be confused with early decision, but they will make a decision on you somewhere around December or January to let you know whether you got in or not. So this is the first wave of applicants that they go through. And so they look through these early action applicants and they go through and decide if they want to accept you or not. Now, a few things can happen here. One is they can accept you and offer you admissions, and then you have a decision through early action to go to that school, or you can also pursue other schools as well too, because remember, it's not binding. You're not bound to that decision, to make that decision right then and to go to that school. So you still have options out there, and you may have applied to some other schools through early action. Now, another thing that the schools can do is they can also defer you. In other words, if you go through the early action process and they look at your application, they can say, well, we're not ready to accept you yet, but we may still look at you and we still want to look at what's going on with you, and so we may defer your decision to a later date, and we'll look at it with the remaining applicants when we get to that point after the first of the year. So they're just pushing that decision that they're making on you off until a later date, which means you're not out of it yet, but they're also still, but you also haven't been accepted yet either. So you may be getting some other offers from other schools, and you may decide you want to go with those before they even make a decision on you, or you could wait and see what they decide later on. Now, regular decision means that you're going to go in with the normal pool of applicants, So in other words, you're going to wait until after this early action process has been taken care of, and they've accepted all those students, and there's still a remaining amount of students that they're going to accept through this process. And you want to go in and compete in that pool right there of those regular decision applicants who have turned in at the regular deadline. Now, many schools do rolling admissions. Now, rolling admissions is kind of a unique situation because that means you will apply to that school, and then say in 2 to 4 to 5 weeks, you'll hear a decision from that school. In other words, they're making decisions as they get those applications in. So once you've turned your application in, you could get a decision in as little as 2 weeks from some schools. And that's a pretty unique opportunity. The problem with that is, once they get full, they're through accepting applications and they're full. And there's no way you can go from there. So there's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of things you can do and a lot of decisions to be made on just when you're going to apply. That's before you even get started with the application process itself. So before you decide to sit down and decide where you want to go and what you want to do, and before you start filling out that application for that college, you want to start looking and saying, okay, when do I need to apply? And when is the best time for me to apply? And which time would be the best option for me to apply? Should I do early decision because this is where I want to go and that's what I want to do, and I want to go ahead and put all my eggs into this basket? Or do I want to go early action and go ahead and try to get an early decision from the school so that I can find out yay or nay on whether I'm going to be accepted there or not? Or do I just want to go ahead because I've got a lot of things going on in the fall and I want to go ahead and apply a regular decision and I haven't really made up my mind where I want to apply yet? And all of those are valid reasons and they're valid options. So you have to look at what situation is best for you. And then you could also look at the rolling decision where you can say, I know that once I apply here, I'll get a decision and I can have it out of the way and I can be done and I can move on and I can enjoy my senior year. Or I can wait until later and then I know it's not going to fill up and I know there's really not a deadline to that. And I can just find out a few weeks later whether or not I've been accepted to that school or not. So good luck making those decisions. I hope you do well with that. I know you'll make the right decision based on what's best for you. And if there's anything I can do to help out in that process, please let me know.